Hello and welcome to my very tiny kitchen from which I will be moving soon. Please just ignore it. If you're a sewist, if you're new, this video is for you. Today I'm not cooking. I'm gonna talk to you about my money that don't jiggle, it falls. Actually, my money does jiggle. It jiggles badly. And sometimes it makes no noise because it's non-existent. I'm making afternoon tea and I'm talking to you about how expensive is sewing actually. Is it expensive? Number one. Is it cheaper to buy your own clothes? And how to save your cash when it comes to sewing. So first, let's make tea. Okay, so let's start with my experience. When I first got excited about sewing, I was shocked because in my head I thought, okay, sewing is cheap. You know, you sew in order to save money from buying your own clothes. Well, I was very wrong. I realized very shortly that actually you need quite a bit of money to invest into this hobby. When you think about sewing, you just have to start from scratch. So I had to buy a sewing machine, I had to buy scissors, measuring tape, pins, patterns, fabric, whatever you can think of. I didn't have it. I had to buy it. So I thought, wow, this is so much money to invest in a hobby I don't even know if I like. And so I put it off for the longest time. Until my husband was like, great, we're going. I'm taking you to the sewing shop. You're gonna buy a sewing machine today because you seem to be quite interested. I didn't want to buy a secondhand sewing machine. We bought a secondhand car once and that just was a fail. So I was like, I'm just gonna buy something brand new. So I bought the sewing machine, which was £350. And then I was like, right, let me make my first piece of clothing. And I'm pretty sure that for my first sewing project, I must have paid like £500 just to be able to, you know, get my hands dirty and do something. It felt expensive. I was like, what have I done? Yeah, you need a lot of money to get yourself started, not gonna lie. Unless, you know, you're willing to find things secondhand, which I really wasn't, you're gonna need to have a bit of cash. And let me just give you a few practical examples of just how much some of my makes have costed me. Let's take my first video that I made on YouTube, which is a trench coat. I am pretty sure that that project cost me about £70, if not more. Now, with £70, I could have gone and I could have bought myself a really nice trench coat. So very quickly I was like, whoa, is sewing actually cheaper than making our own clothes? And it just felt like it wasn't at all. And then for the M796, I paid probably like £40 for fabric and the pattern to make that. And to be honest, the biggest shock was when I made my dawn pair of jeans. I was like, okay, let me buy the fabric, let me buy the rivets, let me buy the buttons, the zipper, let me buy the pattern. And I quickly added it all up, and I'm pretty sure it added up to like £70 to £100. But I remember when I counted it all up for my video, I was like, are you kidding me? I have just paid £70 or more to make a pair of jeans, and I had no idea whether those jeans were gonna come out really well. And in my mind, I was like, what have I done? I could have bought a pair of Levi's jeans and I could have saved myself a lot of work. I was freshly pregnant when I was making those jeans, so you know, not the best idea because those jeans did not fit me very long after. My quilted jacket that I haven't even finished cost me up to £70 just the fabric. Based on that, I can wholeheartedly tell you that sewing is expensive, and sewing is more expensive sometimes than just going and buying a thing in the shop. Once you're set up though, once you've paid that money and once you discover the joy of sewing, you're like, it's worth it. It is worth it. Take my cash and bring me the joy. I love sewing so much. It has brought me so much joy over the years, and it's brought me so much excitement, so much fun. It's helped with my mental health so much. So is it an expensive hobby sometimes? You bet. But is it a really good fun hobby? You bet. So, you know, that is the drip, that is the stitch. Oh, my scones are ready. Scones. I got my scony scones. Now, a very key ingredient, clotted cream. Be generous with your clotted cream, friends. That's what I have to say. Anyways, So here's when things began to change for me and I began to find hope when it comes to sewing and affordability is when I went on a holiday in the south of England, and one day I decided to pop into the charity shops and I found the most amazing fabric and the most amazing patterns for really cheap. I mean, I found this fabric that was £1, like £1, and I turned that fabric into the most amazing blouse. That's when I realized that actually sewing is expensive, but it's also not expensive in the sense that once you establish yourself and once you've got your sewing supplies ready, you can actually find amazing fabric really cheap, and that really gave me hope. And so I was like, okay, fabric, I can find it for cheap, I can go secondhand, I can find bed sheets. I had seen a light, and then after that I discovered something which I'm gonna tell you as soon as I tell you about this jam that I made from strawberries I have picked myself. This jam looks delicious. Look at it. It's so good. It's so tasty. And anyways, I just wanted to tell you about my jam. So the second thing that I found that gave me so much hope, why is there so much hair on me, was free patterns. Prior to knowing about the existence of free patterns, I spent so much money on patterns. I remember John Lewis had a sale and I was like, right, I better buy all these patterns because they're affordable now and they might not be affordable then. And then I was seeing patterns online. I was like, buy. And then I realized, wait a minute, here's free patterns. That was a real game changer for me because I realized with fabric that I could buy secondhand and with free patterns, sewing could be a more affordable hobby for me. Here's the tips I would give to someone who is maybe new to the world of sewing. Invest in a really good sewing machine, because if you invest in a good sewing machine, you are set for a win. I've never had a problem with my sewing machine, ever. Never, ever. So do some research, find what kind of brand and what kind of model is good for you. Then see if you can find it on sale. See if you can find it secondhand. See if you can find it, you know, from your grandma or something. But make sure your sewing machine is good, is solid. And then buy your supplies like scissors and pins and needles and really good threads and stuff. Like your basics need to set you up for a win. And that's where your money's gonna go. But when it comes to patterns and fabric, this is where you've got a real opportunity to save your money. So before you go to fabric shops, go to charity shops. See what's on there. I would also join Facebook groups for sewists because people do a lot of destashes. My latest project, I think I paid £10 for that fabric because somebody was doing a destash and I was like, nice linen for £10, yes please. Oh, I'm drooling. Try and find it cheaper before you go to the fabric shop. Now sometimes you'll have to go to the fabric shop, but before you do that, see if you can find it for cheap. One way to save money on your fabric is if you just buy like really cheap fabric and then you make a tester, see how it fits, see if you need to make any changes, and then boom, once you work with your nice fabric, you know you're not gonna mess it up. So that's a tip for you. Every single sewist will know the struggle of buying a nice fabric and absolutely ruining it. So don't make that mistake. Don't do what we've done. Learn from us, buy cheap fabric, learn, and then if you really like what comes out, take it again with nice fabric. But do not waste your money on nice fabric at the beginning. 2 tips I have for you for patterns. See if you can find it for free. I've got loads of videos about free patterns, so do check those out. And the other tip I would have is when you first start sewing, you are probably going to follow a lot of people on Instagram and you're going to get lots of inspiration and you're going to be like, whoa, I want to make this and I want to make this, I want to make that and I want to make that, and you kind of feel like, I need to spend all this money on this pattern. No, don't do that. I made that mistake and now I have so many patterns that I am either not going to have time for or that are just like already aging, not in a good way. So don't let yourself be influenced and don't let yourself feel the need to be like, whoa, I have to buy all the patterns, make everything and buy. Ask ask yourself, is this something I'm just really like influenced by, or is this something I really want to make? And another way sewing can be really, really cheap is if you upcycle things. That can be so affordable, upcycling and mending. Let's look at these scones as if this is sewing. Your base, the scones, the sewing machine, the sewing supplies are gonna need to be good quality. And whatever goes on top, you can really find really good jam, really good clotted cream in the charity shops, online, on Etsy, on eBay. And you can get yourself some amazing deals. And ultimately, whatever you make will look good, as long as you make it with love and as long as you enjoy the process. You're gonna suck at first. You're gonna suck at first so bad, and you're gonna waste fabric and you're gonna waste your time and you're gonna be like, what have I done? But if you keep going, you'll end up with a great, delicious situation on your hands. That's really good. I'm gonna go eat my scones. I hope this video made sense. I just know that this is the kind of video I would have loved to have found when I was starting sewing, just to prepare myself mentally. You have a lovely day, and if you have any questions, leave some comments and I'll try and answer them. And also, if you're an experienced sewist, give your best money saving tips in the comments so you can bless this community of sewists that we've got going on here. If you've never had afternoon tea, all you need is really good scones, clotted cream, jam, a cup of tea, and you're gonna have a really good time. You're gonna enjoy yourself. Look at this. Praise the Lord. Sending love. Bye.